Hi, welcome back to another CSRM podcast. I'm Andrew Fass. I'm the Director of Digital Resource Development here at CSRM. And this is going to be the last talk of our technology and ministry kind of mini-series we've been doing here this summer. Today we've already talked podcasting. Last time we did a brief overview of some things to do for marketing, especially online with your website. Today we're going to focus on the one that is a little bit more probably what you're already familiar using, which is social media. Last time we talked the history of marketing within ministry. We talked about the fact, early church, it was evangelism and testimony. The persecuted church moved on to using the different signs and symbols. During the Renaissance, it was about the big architecture. Here in the U.S., it was about architecture for a long time, but today, there were the four methods that we talked about. The personal method, which is still honestly the best method, which is word of mouth, actually gain out foot traffic, community, physical mailing lists, things like that, things that get people in people's hands. We also talked about the corporate side for those churches that can afford to do it, getting the billboards, getting the radio and TV spots, the newspaper spots, all that kind of stuff. Last week, we focused on the online side of it, websites, SEOs, emailing lists, all that good stuff. Today, though, we're going to focus on the social media aspect. The difference between social media and online is that with your website, and we talked about this last week, the goal is to keep people on your site for as long as possible and to be engaged fully in it. The more people are on the website, the longer they're going to be on the website, the more they're going to actually want to check you guys out. You want one website, not multiple, and the strategy is information and directing them towards actually coming in Sunday or at least making a phone call. Social media, on the other hand, is to keep people engaged for as long as possible in any kind of format. You're just trying to keep them engaged with you, the brand. So in our case, the brand CSRM. Our goal is to keep them engaged with CSRM for as long as possible. You can have as many sites as you need with social media. Again, it's about knowing your market. And the strategy is, again, information, but it's also entertainment. This is a completely different aspect than anything else you're going to find within the ministry side. This is the one place where entertainment is top of the line as far as a need and a necessity. Some of the big sites, there's a ton of social media options out there, and that's part of what we want to kind of narrow down for everybody today is the ones that actually are you need within your within ministry. Networking sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, which, yes, it does still exist. Snapchat, Flickr is another one. Nextdoor is one that is only available in certain parts of the country, but it is there. And then LinkedIn, those are networking sites. It's all about connecting as many people as possible based off of common interests, common friends, common jobs, neighborhoods, all that kind of stuff. Opinion sites, this would be things like Blogspot, Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr, Pinterest, Reddit, Yelp. Those are your opinion sites that it literally is just a place to go on and just share personal opinions about different things. Video sites, TikTok is a kind of a weird one, but it's there. YouTube, we've been talking about YouTube from the beginning here. This is the big social media site right now. And then Vimeo is another kind of a side version of YouTube. It's video sites, obviously. You use them to post and promote video as well as to share video with other people. Connection social medias, as weird as it is, you Apple users, FaceTime, the thing that is an option on your phone to call people, is actually a social media site or an app. It's not a site, it's an app. But It's a social media tool. Skype, Facebook Messenger, which is actually different from Facebook, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, and WhatsApp, which is basically its own phone company. All of those are actual social media things, and it's all about connecting people with other people on a one-on-one or, a group kind of setting. That's a lot of different sites, and that's not even all of the options that we have. And so we want to kind of narrow down what sites are needed for ministry. The ones that you need to have, these are kind of a non-negotiable if you want to be effective. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Messenger, and if your community offers it, Nextdoor. Again, Nextdoor is a newer one. We'll talk about it a little bit later in some more detail, but it's one that if your community has it, you've got to grab onto it. Some other good options to have: Twitter, certain ministries, LinkedIn, and then if you don't have it on your website, Blogspot is a good one because, again, blogs are an easy way to communicate with people. Time-wasting sites, you don't even mess with them and just stay away from them. Snapchat, it's not worth the time of a ministry. TikTok, you should be on YouTube. You don't need to be using TikTok, although some youth pastors prefer it for some different stuff. And then Flickr is another just time waster, not worth your time. Some good ones to monitor as a ministry, not necessarily to be on it, but to monitor what people are saying, is Yelp. What is your online review look like? What are people saying about your ministry on Yelp? Is there some stuff that you need to address on there in terms of, people are slandering the church with no merit? Or is it something where you need to be on there just to be aware of, hey, people are not happy because we are seen as doing this, and so this is something that the church needs to be aware of and to make changes. Pinterest is another good one to monitor, not necessarily to have a church account for, but Pinterest does give you a lot of good options for some different ideas for ministry stuff, for VBS, for games, all those kind of things. Ones to just straight up avoid: Reddit is not worth the church's time at all. Tumblr is not worth the church's time at all. Don't even mess with them. Just throw them out. Not worth your time. And then the other connection sites are ones that are more personal, and so we're not really going to focus on them. The big thing is that you've got to know your market. We talked about this with the podcasting. This goes even further into it with the social media stuff. Facebook is the big boy within social media for the most part, at least for the time being. College kids, most of them are on there. Parents are on there, grandparents are on there, businesses are on there. Those are the ones where if those are your target audiences, that's where you need to be. Now, Facebook is the only exception where I'd say everybody should have a Facebook for if you are in ministry church-wise, because it is a second website, and if it's a second website, then people are going to be going and looking and searching you on Facebook. And if you aren't on there with an official page, people that are talking about you and tagging you, Facebook will create a page for you anyway, and you have no control over what is put up there, and it looks like it's coming from the church. So that's one that you've got to have if you want to stay relevant within the world today. Twitter, if you are trying to reach millennials, politicians, or celebrities, Twitter's the place to go because they're the people that are still using it, but Twitter is dying, and it's dying very quickly, and so it's one where if you're having to divide your time up and you've got to make decisions, Twitter is one. If you've got time for it, great. If not, it's not worth your time messing with. Instagram, as weird as it sounds, upper elementary, so we're talking 4th grade and up. They're the ones on there. Upper elementary all the way up to college, and then the millennial generation. Instagram is quickly overtaking Twitter, and in some cases it's overtaking Facebook as well. Rather than people going and creating pages on Facebook, they would rather just post their pictures to Instagram. We'll talk about why it's a big attraction here in a little bit, but just be aware, churches, if you're not on Instagram, you're going to want to get on Instagram pretty quickly because it is fastly becoming the the big name within social media. YouTube, we've been talking about it for a while now. YouTube, everyone is using because it's not just social media, it's also a search engine, it's a podcasting platform, it's a video blog platform, it's everything. If you haven't listened to the podcasting stuff, go back, listen to it. We talk YouTube a lot. We probably won't hear. You want to be on YouTube. If you're not on there already, you want to be getting ready to join YouTube. It's going to be very important here coming up as far as ministry is concerned. LinkedIn, if you are an employer that is hiring quite a lot, LinkedIn is a good place to go. If you are somebody that is trying to get new employee, or if you are an employee looking for a new employer, LinkedIn is a good place to go. If you are somebody that is just interested in networking with other people, LinkedIn is the place to go. It's more of a job resource site, a career resource site, not like the other social media networking sites. LinkedIn is one that we at CSRM have because of the fact that we're constantly posting job updates, blogs, and we are about connecting and bridging gaps within the sports rec and fitness world. And so LinkedIn obviously makes sense for us. It may or may not make sense for your ministry, and it could be one of those that you're just going to be wasting your time on. So the big three is what I refer to as one of the former pastors we had referred to it as the FYI, because it's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Those are the big three. YouTube, like I said, we've talked a lot about it. It's a social networking site, but it's also a library. It's a search engine. It's a video site. It's a podcasting site. It's a video blog site. It's a movie site. It's a music streaming site. It's everything. That's the place to go if you want to learn how to do something, get opinions, share opinions. You need to be on there. The other two are the ones that we're going to focus a little bit more on today. Facebook. Facebook basically is your second website. People go on there looking for locations, they look for times, they look for pictures to see who actually is going there. Do you have a kids ministry? Do you not have a kids ministry? Is there stuff for, is it something that I'm actually going to enjoy going to, or is it going to be something where I'm going to be bored out of my mind? Facebook is the place to kind of showcase all that kind of stuff. Things you can put on there, stuff like your services, as far as locations. You can literally put the location straight in as your address, and when people go search for it, it comes up on a map. Your service times. You can share your mission and vision statement on there. All your contact information. You can create events and invite people and businesses and other pages to it. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. Some things to remember, though, you've got to keep the page updated. If you're not updating your Facebook page, you are not going to show up in the overall timeline very often. Even if you have a ton of people liking your page and following your page, if you are not keeping the page updated, you are going to start dropping down in the listings as far as what is actually going to be shared into the timeline. Algorithms, which is the word that I could not remember last time, those of you that were like, what is this guy doing? The Facebook algorithms are constantly changing, but the more that you update, the more you post, the more likely you're going to actually show up in people's news feeds. So make sure you keep it updated. It doesn't have to be anything serious. You can post funny, stupid stuff all the time as long as you're posting stuff. Memes are hilarious and fun to use as long as you're staying appropriate. I'm actually a member of multiple Christian meme sites. That one of them is for just The Office. One of them is for Parks and Recreation. Some of them using Lord of the Rings, using other different TV shows. You can there are so many Christian resources out there that you can use and repost to make sure that you are still updating and keeping your page going to get things, to make sure you're still being seen when you have to post the serious stuff, the update stuff, all those sort of things. Take advantage of it. Have fun with it. If you go, some of the biggest Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts also, Wendy's is hilarious, the stuff that they post half the time. Burger King is starting to get in the game with them also. Um, the Cleveland Indians, around here, their social media people are just drop dead hilarious most of the time. The Akron Rubber Ducks is another one that I follow where they're always posting stuff and having comments like it's, some lost child to the Cleveland Indians. Um, Major League Baseball has recently started actually doing really well with social media as well and actually engaging with fans, everything like that. Take advantage of the fact that you don't have to be, the serious, sit in the pew straight, tie nice and neat type of thing on Facebook. You can have fun with it, enjoy it. If you need ideas, just go look around Facebook. You'll find really good examples of what some stuff you can post. Some other tips with Facebook. The boosts are actually very beneficial. It costs $10, and you can see almost a 10,000 people upgrade as far as the people actually are going to see your post. Here in Cleveland, a $5 boost that increases a 4 or 5 mile radius of actually us paying for advertising on Facebook could be the difference between 30 people and 300,000 people seeing it. Take advantage of it. It's cheap, it's easy, and you don't even have to do any of the work because Facebook does it for you. Share, and this is the other big thing that people don't like to do or don't recognize doing. You as an admin of your Facebook or a member of your church's Facebook community, when you post something on the church's page or your ministry's page, get on your personal page and share the post. Encourage your other staff members to share the post, your coaches to share the post, your congregation members to share the post, because the more people share, the more often that your stuff is going to show up into the news feeds. People are going to see it more. You're going to increase the amount of people that are going to like your page, the amount of people that are going to communicate with you and interact with you on your different social media accounts. Facebook is the first place people go for the most part. Make sure that you are constantly keeping it updated and that you're taking advantage of the tools it gives you. The third of the big three is Instagram. Use it to advertise your events. It's a picture site, so you're already making flyers, things like that for your events. Post them up there. It's only pictures. You can put video up there as long as they're within a certain time. Take advantage of it. Use the filters they give you, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't take much time to post an Instagram post, whereas with Facebook you may have to take a little bit of time out of your day to get it all set up to make it look exactly like you want it. Instagram, you don't have to do that. They give you the filters. They make it very easy to link other pages, other accounts in with it. You can make one post on Instagram, have it automatically post to your Facebook page or your YouTube page in some cases, your blogs. Take advantage of the tools they give you. The one thing to be aware of, though, is you have to make sure you're using your bio, the little thing as far as the about you on the side of your account. Use it effectively, because you cannot actually put hyperlinks into your Instagram posts. Doesn't mean that you can't put it in there and people won't just copy and paste it and go. It's a very simple, easy way to do it, but use your bio effectively. Have the links that they need to know. How do they get to your church website? How do they get to your YouTube? How do they get to your Facebook? Make sure you're using your bio effectively and not wasting the space, and the advertising of your other websites can be right there. Another thing you have to be aware of with Instagram is you can access it through a computer online, but you cannot post, you cannot do any kind of updating of your account or anybody else's account using a computer. It's got to be done by phone, and so this is when with Instagram, you may have to be a little creative how you do it. If you don't have a social media manager, you may have to create a separate email address that everybody has access to and a common password, so that way people can access it from their phones. But again, that's an easy hurdle to navigate through, considering the impact that the Instagram posts make. Again, Instagram is on the rise with at 5th grade and up. They probably, if they have a phone, they probably have an Instagram, and they're probably posting the pictures. take advantage of it. The other popular sites like Twitter, like I said, it's dying unless you are in a hipster or postmodern market. Don't waste your time on it. Focus on the other three. Blogs, if you don't have one on the website, have you and the other pastors start writing one. It's a very easy, effective way, and it's a good way for people to hear your heart and for you to share. Neighborhood app, this is when I said we would explain a little bit more later on. The neighborhood app, some neighborhoods have an app that acts as a community forum. If you're in a community that has it, great, take advantage of it, because now you can literally type up a message saying, hey, we're having a cookout on this date in our sanctuary, or in our church. Come, post it to the neighborhood app, and everybody that has the app in your neighborhood, which is probably most of the neighborhood, it goes straight to their phone basically as a text message. And so now you've just mass texted your entire walking radius. It's a very easy app to use if you're in a neighborhood that has it. And like I said, only certain neighborhoods do. Bigger cities, you're going to find that a lot of your neighborhoods will have it. Some of you guys are in the rural areas, probably don't have it, probably not worth the effort. And if you don't have it, it's not a huge deal. The thing that you have to understand with Facebook, Instagram, the reason why it is on such a huge rise is because of the fact that people are looking for validation in looking for validation. They want people to like their picture because likes on Instagram mean they must like me as a person also, even though we all know that's not the case. Facebook, same thing. The more likes, the more comments, the more people must actually are paying attention to me, the more they appreciate me. We have to understand that as a church, that this unfortunately is what this tool has become, especially with millennials and down. We don't want to encourage that kind of stuff, and so we need to make sure that what we are posting is uplifting, it's encouraging to them, and it's encouraging them to find their identity in Christ and not in the amount of likes, comments, all that kind of stuff that they're finding on their page. The way you do that is with effective posting. Pictures and videos always are a good option on any site. Pictures catch the eye while people are scrolling. It gets shared, it gets reposted more frequently. People are going to, they want to be able to see stuff, not just have to sit there and read. Put the pictures on, put the videos up, it'll get shared, it will get reposted, and it's going to expand not only your audience, but hopefully it will also expand the message that you're trying to get across. Longer posts, within reason, you don't want to share novels, but longer posts get more clicks because there's that little blue thing that says see more that people have to click on to get the full story. And when that happens, it registers as an interaction with your post with Facebook and Instagram, which means that you're going to be seen more frequently. And it also means that people are going to be actually engaging with it a little bit more often. Don't overdo it, obviously, but the longer the post is, the more likely it's going to be actually at least clicked on and interacted with, which is really all you're looking for. Hashtags. Originally, this was just meant to help networkers get everything together. However, not anymore. Now, hashtags and the @ tags for Instagram and Facebook are realistically, they're a great marketing tool because it keeps everything nice and neatly packaged together so people can actually follow certain hashtags, they can follow certain tags, they can follow certain networks, all that kind of stuff. Use them. Tag other ministries that you're partnered with. CSRM is a member of the foundational partners of the Reach Gathering. So when we're posting about things from our foundational partners, or we're posting about things for the Reach Gathering, we always tag them in it, so that way not only is it being seen by our followers, it's also being seen by their followers, in which case now both networks are getting more exposure and more clicks. Develop some online partners for your ministry. A lot of some of the Christian meme pages have actually started. They go and like, hey, let's have a meme war back and forth. We'll make fun of each other for a while. We'll keep tagging each other. We're going to get more likes that way. Find people that you can partner with online. Find people that you share a vision with, you share a mission with, you share some kind of value with, and so you guys can not only start dialogue together, but also help advertise each other. The shares, which we said, this is what your ultimate goal is. Sharing is when a personal account or a page takes your stuff and goes and sends it out to all of their followers as well. Share your own stuff. So if I post something on the CSRM page like I'm going to with this podcast, I am then going to go onto my personal account and then go and share CSRM's post, which not only gets the podcast out to a lot more people, but it also then shares the name CSRM and the Facebook page CSRM to everybody else within my network. It's not unethical. It's not cheating. It's being smart and being effective with what you've got. If you're not going to share it, your audience isn't going to want to share it either. If you don't think what you have is worth people seeing, why are you posting it? Go ahead, share it. Make sure your other staff members are sharing it. We always tag people's personal pages when they're on. So when we have our executive director, David Waddell, when he is on our podcast, we share not only his personal page, but also we share his author's page. One of the things that we're currently doing on our Facebook is we're trying to help Executive Director Waddell with a contest right now for one of his books. He's a finalist for an Author of the Year award. I think that's what it is. Sorry. And so we've not only been sharing his personal post, but we're also sharing his books posts as far as, hey, you can vote for this you can vote for this book as an award for one of the awards. It's been written by our executive director. We are now marketing him as well as he's marketing us. It's a very good trade-off. Do it. It's worth your while. The hashtag is a little bit different than the other tags. The hashtag is basically a catchphrase that it tags everything together. It's really good for a church to have a hashtag of their own, or the school that I teach at, the church that hosts it, their pastor, for every sermon that he does, he shares a different hashtag for them to post on social media when they check into the church. Check into the church means that it's being interacted with, which means being posted more, and now you have this huge collection of hashtags all with the same thing, which means now it's going to be trending in the area. People are going to want to know what it's about, and so now all of a sudden there's a lot more people going to the page. Take advantage of the hashtags. They can be stupid. They can be, very intellectual. Doesn't matter. Use it. For those of you that don't know what it is, it used to be called the pound sign. Now we call it a hashtag. Don't know why it changed, but it's a little bit easier to say hashtag than pound anyway. Facebook and Instagram give you the option to share stories. If you want to do it, great. If you don't have the time, it's perfectly okay, because you want them going to your page more than just staying in the story. Again, social media is about interaction, so the stories is another way to interact. But if you don't feel like you have time for it, or that you want to mess with it, don't. It's not going to be an issue. A couple new developments within Facebook is the top fans. This is if you go and select on your page that you want top fans to be activated. People, I don't know what the number is, but a certain amount of people, the ones that are interacting, whether it's comments, likes, shares the most on that page within a week or 2 weeks or a month, I think you can even set it, they get notified that they've been named a top fan, which means they get a nice little diamond badge next to their name, and then when they comment on stuff, it shows that this is a top fan commenting. It really doesn't mean much, so if you don't want to activate, it. You don't have to, but for some people, being a top fan of certain pages is like a whole new badge of honor, and they're very proud of it, and so they're going to automatically get on and start commenting just so they keep their top fan status, which is really funny when they do that, and then they don't realize they've lost their top fan status because then they get made fun of a lot on Facebook. But that's something that is also out there that you can do if you feel like it's something you want to do within your ministry to create a top fan. Sports ministries, youth ministries, top fans is probably a really good option for you because it's something that the people you're targeting are going to be more into. General ministries, general churches, probably not worth the effort of actually adding it on there, but you can if you want. The other thing with top fans is that you are able to share stuff directly to just the top fans and nobody else, which is kind of a fun feature for certain sites. The other new development, which this is new within like the past month or so, is that groups are starting to come back. Pages for your Facebook had initially taken over the group. Groups are now starting to come back. If you are a church that is one that does a lot of discussion, a lot of shares a lot of resources, things like that, groups may be a good option. You can make them closed or open, either one, and then it's a place that you can have people discuss a little bit more intimately. Again, it's not a necessity. It's not going to kill you if you don't have it, but it's just something to be aware of that it is starting to come back. Now, a couple resources to help you navigate the social media stuff. ProChurchTools.com is the one I've been promoting a lot. This is another area where they're really good with. They provide tips, tools, software, algorithm information on their website and through their podcast, Pro Church Daily. CreationSwap.com is a nice place to go for those that are going to be creating your own graphics or using some kind of updated graphics. They have both free and paid for options for graphics designed for and by churches, and it's exclusively for churches. I get a lot of stuff from there that I use for both CSRM and personal church stuff. It's a really easy website to navigate, and there's some really cool stuff, including video and countdowns and things like that on there. Ripple.com is an app that is used exclusively for social media ad generation. You can just take a still picture and make it into a 30-second video. Real simple. It automatically posts to Facebook, automatically posts to Instagram for you. There's a paid option that gets rid of their little watermark and you can add custom music to it, but there's also a free version where if you don't mind the Ripple.com thing in the corner, it's real simple, easy to use. And then the other big app that's a big help for this is Facebook Pages Manager. Those of you that are on an admin or editing team for a Facebook page, if you download the Facebook Pages Manager app, it helps you manage and get stats and everything for your Facebook page so that you're not having to do it through the actual Facebook app. It seems like it's kind of an extra step, but what it actually does is it prevents you from mixing up your page's posts and your own posts. It prevents you from commenting on somebody's page thinking you're commenting as yourself and you're actually commenting as your organization. It allows you even to comment on your own page's stuff as yourself rather than the page. This has been the technology talk for CSRM. We've covered podcasting, which you can go back and listen to the 6 or 7 we did on that. Last week we covered marketing. This week we covered social media. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you guys have any questions, if you guys need help, if you missed anything, if there's something that I missed. Let us know. You can drop us a line on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as on SoundCloud, where the audio version of this podcast is. So again, I'm Andrew Fouts. We thank you guys for listening, and Dr. Linville will be back with you guys next time.